So, girls, divine princesses, this is very important. So, what I want to tell you is that I love the divine princess with all my heart, and there's nothing going to stop me. Nothing. I mean, nothing going to stop me from loving my divine princess. Not even my probation officer. She wouldn't do that anyway. But like Jessica, like I love Jessica and Wausau, and it was awesome. I had a bond with her. And that was a magical experience that I had in the homeless population where I found a girl that I really liked. And I don't know if she'll like me back the same way, but she brought me food and everything. Like, it was so amazing. And what I'm trying to say is that Jessica, like, was that light in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I had experiences with her, and it was awesome. Because I don't want to like have lack of experiences in my reality. That's what I'm trying to say is that I want to have abundance of reality, of experiences with the divine feminine attribute of the divine princess, with her offspring, which the divine princess is. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say is that I really want to have a baby. I want to have Spinella. That's what I'd name my daughter if I had a daughter. I'd name her Spinella. And she'd be just so magical in her abilities and everything. And I believe that she could be a great human being. And I would always encourage her to do good. And if I have a son too, if I have a son, I would encourage him to do his best in reality and try to encourage him. Because I don't want to be a father that looks down on their children or anything. But what I'm trying to say is that I love the divine princess and I'm dedicated to her. And there's nothing going to stop me from doing this. That's good. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So, what I'm trying to say now is that the divine princess needs to back me up in this endeavor, which I'm trying to go for. The originating source of the divine princesses, the originating source of the divine princesses, that means the top echelon of the originating source of the DNA of all the divine princesses before. So that means it's on a level of like monumental like happenings, of monumental miracles and blessings. So what I'm trying to say is that the divine princesses are awesome and they represent just as much as the divine princess itself because it's through the DNA of which it originated from. It's basically itself originating more times over and over. But what I'm trying to say is that it's in accordance to the divine plan through the DNA and all the sequence of what I know as God and the divine goddess. Because the divine goddess is just as important as the divine God. And we should not separate it. Because if we separate it, we don't know the truth. The truth is the oneness is real. It's in accordance to all this working out for the divine benefit of everything else. And it's like a thing that can't be messed with. And sometimes when I get messed with by the CIA or whatever, it's in accordance to trying to push me to orchestrating what I want faster, You know what I mean? That way, I don't have to worry about what's trying to dumb me down from the sort of category of, you know, I don't know how to describe it. It's just the way it is. In the way it's not like CAA's fault. Whoever's behind it all, that's orchestrating it all, that's doing it all, is what's probably not beneficial to anybody's health. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to say is that you got to get out of the AI orchestrament of robot sort of like ways of going about yourself in orchestrating to other people's plans. I mean, it's just not good because they lie. They blatantly lie. I'm not going to lie about that. They lie. Okay? But ultimately, what I'm trying to say is I don't know how the CAA got incorporated in this conversation. And I don't want to like ruin this podcast. But I had to flow with it because it wouldn't have made sense if I started talking about CAA and I started branching off to something else. You know what I mean? So, and it's only 6 minutes in there. Okay, Neil loves, worships, honors, and obeys the Divine Princess forever. This is the most realist podcast I think I've ever had. Alright, I gotta bow to the Divine Princess now. All hail the Divine Princess. Amen. I love you, Divine Princess. All hail the Divine Princess. Because she is all magical, all powerful, all throughout my history of everything that I've done. You know, up until this point. Divine Princess was there, got my back, was there for me, actually was there for me because she knew the difficulty of my mission on Earth. And she knew this. And this is how it came to Happy-Go-Lucky Podcast, to kind of like the sinister, kind of like intermixed facing reality that I'm faced with. Of all this corresponding till now. Of this, you know, it is what it is, but I'm not trying to like downgrade the CIA saying that they don't know anything, but they know things, but they lie and they do not go against my best interests at heart. My best interest is the Divine Princess and the Divine Princesses and the Divine Goddess and the Divine Goddesses. So whatever else they're trying to do is not that beneficial to my health. So what I'm trying to say is that if you know what I'm talking about, Divine Princess, please reach out and be with the person that actually truly cares about you. The CIA doesn't care about you the way I care about you. They're more systematic in their ways about things. But underlying, they do care in a sort of sense where when they don't play hardball, they're more in a caring sort of sense rather than when they play hardball. What all I'm trying to say is that this podcast kind of got real. I'm sorry to say, but it is what it is. Like, I don't want to talk about the CIA. And that's something that I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about better things. But it kind of got in the way of this podcast. But I guess it is what it is. You know what I mean? I just love the Divine Princess so much. The Divine Goddesses out there. That, like, it burdens my heart to make this podcast for you and to do my due diligence, to be brave for you, and to do this. I'm posting it out there, and they're playing hardball with me while I make these podcast videos. They're starting to amp it up, and I'm starting to go back like, I'm starting to yell back like, "Hey, knock it off!" Like, I'm not no person to play with. Like, I have a strong voice. I can use it. So what I'm trying to say is that I love the Divine Princess, and I'll never yell at her or disrespect her. But in the past, when I got angry in the past, like throughout my whole day was angry, I kind of got angry at the Divine Princess for not loving me as much. But I never resort to that now. I never resort to getting angry at the Divine Princess because I love her so much. It's only in my nature to do what's right for the Divine Princess because I love her so much, and that's all I can do. Literally, because if I do anything else, I feel so fucking pitifully low because I love the Divine Princess so freaking much. She made my private parts feel fantastical. Fantastical! So pleasing. It pleased me so well. I cannot fathom. So anyway, it's getting to the end of that, and I already worshipped and obeyed and honored the Divine Princess forever and loved the Divine Princess forever. So, alright, amen.